Kia ora, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of The Drop Clutch with me, Ricky V. In this series, I'm interviewing as many metal drummers from around New Zealand as I can get to, just to get some insight into what makes these guys and girls tick. Now, tonight's guest is another fantastic drummer, as they all are, and just coming off the back of an outstanding European tour, which we will touch base on in just a sec. I have Keane Gilles of Crooked Royals. Kane, how we doing, bro?
Good, mate. How are you, man?
Fucking woo! Glad to be talking
Woo!
to you, man. Absolutely. So, to get us started, please, Kane, can you tell us a little bit about your history? Give us a bit of rundown about what makes Kane Kane.
All right. Well, in terms of drums, I've been playing properly ever since I was 14. So we're looking at quite a few years now. Started off playing in Filipino Christmas bands and whatever I can get, whatever I could do live. I just wanted to get on stage. My dad always said you can be a good drummer, but you might be the best drummer of your bedroom. So you need to get out and actually start playing. So
Fuck yeah.
did the whole NCA performances and got nervous on stage. Shit the bed at RockQuest. You do all those things when you're young, and then eventually went to uni, started a pop punk band there. Ended up going to alternative music, and then really got into metalcore. I think my biggest inspirations really came from when I heard Slipknot and Lamb of God, because that shit changed my life. As
Sure.
soon as I heard Slipknot and Lamb of God, I just wanted to play double kick. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
So you mentioned that you started drumming at 14. So how
yeah.
long is that now? How old are you?
I'm 30 years old now.
30 years old, 16 years. That's a hell of a time to be at it, man.
Yeah.
Are you self-taught? Have you had tutors? Tell us a little bit about that.
I started off with drum tutors, and it taught me the basics, but they were very fixated on notations and reading sheet music. And I didn't really like that. I got the fundamentals from him. It all changed when me and my mate, we took him a notation of Slipknot Before I Forget. And I
Sure.
was like, hey, is there any chance you can teach us this? And he taught us the intro, and he's like, actually, no, like I don't think I'll be able to teach you. I dropped out of drum lessons the next day, and I never took a drum lesson since. So after that, I self-taught myself, and I think YouTube has been my biggest teacher.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So anytime I needed to learn a new technique or figure out how a song is being played, it's on YouTube. Anything you want to do is on YouTube.
Absolutely. It's an amazing tool that we haven't always have had. I'm of the age that I remember a pre-YouTube era.
Me too,
So
mate.
yeah, so we are very lucky to have that at our disposal.
Mm.
Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts, can you tell us briefly about your setup? What is it that you are rocking?
I'm rocking a pretty close-knit Tama Star Classic.
Okay,
One rack tom, one floor tom. I'm keeping it real basic, kind of like a punk setup. And yeah, just your standard hi-hat, left crash, splash, ride, right crash, China, China.
Blue
Um,
China's on. Oh yeah,
one is a normal China. One is one of my favorite things to do with my favorite sounding cymbal is actually a shitty stack that I've kind of made. It's one of those what do they call them? Minor dark Chinas I think you got it as well.
yeah,
That one
bro.
right there. Yeah, I've got that. I love that. But for me,
Oh,
I love the sound of it, but for me, I didn't want it to ring out too much. So I
sure.
got a shitty pasty like $50 China. I mean splash, chuck that on top, get it to like a decent tension, and that's the nicest sounding cymbal I've ever had.
Fuck yeah, man. I absolutely. I was looking like it was behind me. I
Yeah,
absolutely love that Meinl Dark China.
it's
It
so
is.
good.
Oh, it's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
It is very washy. My last China that I had that I broke, which caused me to get that one, was a 16-inch Oriental, Zildjian
Oh,
Oriental,
yo,
which is
heard.
just super attack, super sharp, super cutting. And I loved it. But when I went to, update my China, I got given the choice of either getting another Oriental or getting the Meinl Dark. And I was like, oh, it's that all day. And I just love how
Yeah.
washy it is. On my right side here, I've got a 14-inch K Custom.
Yo, they go
And
hard. I've seen
oh
them.
yeah, so that gives me that kind of sharpness that I need. Anyway,
Yes.
back to you. This isn't about me.
No,
This is about
no,
you.
that's
Um,
awesome.
can you please tell us what your warm up is for practice, for shows, if you even have one? What does that look like?
For practice, well, I used to play a lot of football when I was young. And I found that the similar kind of football warm-ups I would do for my legs actually really help in
Really?
terms of what, yeah. So the whole like um lying on your back and kind of just stretching so you get your back flex, doing your quad stretches, your calf stretches. That's a good way for me to warm up for practices and for shows. But for shows, we have a very specific warm up apart from stretching and getting the blood pumping in terms of we dance a little bit backstage. We actually every show we run through the first two songs of the set acoustically, but played full force. So the singers will be doing what they need to do instead of singing and screaming. I have a little practice pad, and I will kick on the floor the entire song. And by the end of it, you will actually get a bit of a sweat going. And you finish those first two songs, and then when you walk on stage 15 minutes later, you're playing those exact same first two songs the same way.
Interesting. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
something we picked up from a dude in Australia. His name's Steve Canatelli, and he does band coaching. So
Oh,
he said that this is a really helpful tool to kind of get into the mode before you played. And we tried it a few times, and we ended up loving it. And he also taught us how to improve our stage presence. So yeah, the man, if he ever wants, if anyone needs a hand in picking up their live performance, Steve in Australia is your go-to guy.
sure. What was his surname? Sorry, Steve
Canatelli.
Canatelli. Cool. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Now, you've already mentioned obviously Slipknot and Lamb of God, so Joey and
Hmm.
Chris. But
Yes.
can you tell us who some of your favorite drummers are and whose
Okay.
style has influenced your playing the most?
Oh, that's a really good question because what I'll do is I'll split it into two. I'll
Sure.
do like old school, like when I was starting out, and right now because we're always progressing, right? So if you're looking back to when I first started, obviously Slipknot, Lamb of God, we discussed that. But I really like the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold.
Sure.
I thought his chops in terms of um, just his style, his energy, and the fact that the guy was singing when he was playing as well, it was really inspiring. I used to like a bit of. I think those three are the biggest inspirations back in the day.
Okay.
Present day, in the middle, I used to like a drummer called Luke Holland.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What I liked about him is his chops and everything, but I liked his stick tricks. I know it sounds a little bit
Hmm.
wanky to say, but I do like stick tricks. I think they have a place for showmanship. It's a balance. You don't have to do it, but I think if you're feeling yourself, why not express yourself? You know, guitarists do guitar spins, singers do other things. Drummers should be able to do whatever they want to. So I've stolen a little bit of his stick flips from Luke.
Sure.
Present present day, I really fuck with Chris Turner from Ocean's 8 Alaska.
Sure.
I think he's got one of the quickest feet out in the game. His feet game is unreal. And super recently, the sleep token drummer.
Sure.
I know,
Okay.
I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but his chops. It's the whole like gospel jazz element into metal music and genre melding is something that I really like. So I'm really fucking with those guys at the moment.
Sure, sure. Has have you ever watched Metalocalypse?
Yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
Zaz, you must know Zaz,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
His Zaz is top notch. It's
Yeah,
fantastic. The
top notch.
the sizzle, the spice that he adds in is absolutely
It's the
fantastic.
cymbal fills. The cymbal fills are like so tasty. But back in the day, I wasn't doing cymbal fills, and now I only want to do cymbal fills with Tom. So it makes it sound so good.
Yes, absolutely. Now I have a feeling I know where you're going to go, but I may very well be wrong.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what your favorite drum performance that you've seen live has been?
Ooh, live. That is
Yes.
so tricky. That is so tricky. Can I do some honorable mentions first?
Of course.
I would love to give a shout out for this. The his name's Alex. He's from a band called Silent Planet,
Okay.
and he is impeccable. He is. There's videos of him, and he's just the most pocketed drummer, the nicest guys ever. Silent Planet is an amazing band, and he's such a good drummer. He gets my honorable mention. Oh, there's so many. I have to give it to Matt from Periphery. I can't say no. The reason why I didn't put him into my inspiration things because it was a given, because now I'm inspired to play like him as well.
Sure.
But watching Matt play was unreal. I don't know someone. He's quite he's getting on in age as well, and he's just the most consistent drummer that I've ever seen. He hits harder than a truck. He went through 4 Chinas when we are on tour.
Holy shit.
4 brand new minor holy Chinas.
Oh,
He blew through 4 of them, and the dude is a machine. He would get so just to talk about him for a second. He would get to the show. He would do a drum clinic on pads for a bunch of people for like a good hour or so. Then he'd put on a gi and he'd do some jiu-jitsu with a couple of people for a couple of hours, and then he'd warm up and he'd play a show for another couple of hours. The dude is like next level in terms of peak performance.
fuck yeah. What a machine. There's,
Machine is the
uh,
name.
uh, you know, if I can lament for a second about to be in the position to go through 4 Chinas in a tour and have it
Yeah,
not, no, it's no worry. Don't worry about it. Hey,
yeah,
meanwhile, like I brought 2 Chinas in 10 years and I'm like, fucking, I better not need another. Jesus.
yeah. Ride that shit till the wheels fall off. Yeah. I know it. I know the feeling. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, this one has been a little bit more difficult for some of the drummers that I've asked to answer, which is honestly why I keep asking it.
Hmm.
Kane, how would you describe your style?
Okay. Um, Good question. I would describe my style in the sense of it is a lot of double kick. Um, just but not super fast. We don't do too many blast beats in metalcore type of music, but when I get a chance to do blast beats, I don't shy away from it. I would say my style is centered around double kick, quick quick fills that have your cymbals and everything like that. I do like syncing with guitars a lot. And when we do sync with guitars, we do a lot of time signature changes and tempo changes, which I like keeping things fresh with that. And I like playing offbeat as well.
Mm,
So I don't like playing choruses the same. I like keeping certain parts evolving. When it
mm,
gets to the last chorus, you want to spice it up. You want to add triplets. You want to add. I like a natural progression of a song where. So, say for example, if you're going to do choruses and verses, they're not just copy and pasted. They show a natural progression to the end. I think that's kind of what I've tried to do. If I
sure,
go, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's a
It's
fucking,
a
yeah,
it's hard to judge your own style, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
sure. Well, that's a fantastic answer. Thank you very much. Now, focusing a little bit more on Crooked Royals, can you tell us what the writing process is, please?
Okay, the writing process generally, well, especially these days, starts off with guitars. We are very fortunate that we have two amazing guitarists, Jake and Matt, who are in our group, and they bounce off each other very well. Jake focuses on the idea. He's the idea mill. He'll come up with the riffs. He'll come up with a general song idea. He'll get to a point where he'll present us an idea that will be done at band practice. We all sit down, we take notes. We it's almost like a group discussion when we hear these ideas. From there, it goes to different people. It go to the two vocalists to come up with ideas of what they want to do. The two guitarists will work together, and I jam it out. I see if it's possible. Sometimes the ideas are, when your guitarist has an idea for a song, there's a meme around it. I don't have 4 arms, but if there's a way to make it work, it's always quite fun. From here, we'll go out and we'll share ideas. We won't be at band practice. We'll be sharing them via MIDI, via via voice memos, via just whatever we can get we'll even mouth it into just to get what the idea is like. And then it becomes a demo and then we record it. So currently right now we're writing an album at the moment and we're getting towards crunch time in terms of putting everything together. And that's exactly what the process is now. So it starts with the guitars and then it goes to its relevant departments as if it's a business team. And then it all comes together in the end. Yeah.
Sure. Again, what a fantastic answer. Thank you so much. Now, sticking with Crooked Royals, please,
Hmm.
please tell us about the tour.
Well, the tour was
Dates, where you went, how it went, all
oh
that kind of stuff.
yeah, tour was amazing. It was something like we've never done before. We've done Australia before, and that was very special. We were like, oh, if it was supposed to end here, we'd be so happy. This is all we ever wanted. And then we got the European tour, and we're like, oh, who we're going with? Oh, you guys are going with Periphery, and we're like, oh shit. I'm like, well, this it's annoying because Periphery is like it's probably my favorite band. So meeting them and everything was amazing. But the first show was in Sweden, and it was the
Wow.
smallest show. I think it was roughly around close to about 800 to 1,000 people. So it started off there. And then it went from Sweden to Denmark. And then we did 4 shows in Germany. We did Luxembourg. We did Paris. We did Milan, Italy, and then we finished off in London. Now I've probably forgotten a few places. There were 11 shows.
11 gigs. Okay.
11 shows, and they just got progressively larger as we went on. And then your Milan, France, and London were your largest shows, and it was like nothing that we've ever been prepared for. So it was beautiful. It was a real positive experience.
Fuck yeah. How did you guys get hooked up with that tour?
It all started when we're tight with a band called Veil of Maya. Their manager is our manager is their vocalist. His name's Lucas Magyar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we love Veil of Maya. Oh, yeah, sorry about it. Yeah, I got a Veil of Maya top. But so we've been working with them as our manager. Well, they've been our managers for quite a while now. Lucas's manager from Vale is Periphery's manager. So they fall under
Hmm.
the same umbrella. So they have their own record company called Three Dot. Three Dot is massive. So we're signed to Three Dot because we eventually got the offer through there. And then they just reached out, hey, we're going to Europe. We're interested to have you guys on board. We know it'll be a bit of a loss in terms of financially, but would you guys be interested in doing this? And we didn't skip a heartbeat. We were like, yeah, of course. So we'll make it happen. If you get
Fuck yeah.
Periphery asking you for a tour, you sell your kidney, you go to it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and it was super nice. The guys in Periphery were actually super lovely. And yeah, I think it was handy just being part of their whole business community as well because they're technically our bosses in a way. But it was awesome to see that they had this vote of confidence to be like, hey, I know you guys are upcoming, you guys are just kind of starting out. There's a lot of bands in Europe that would probably want this opportunity. Do you guys want this? It was a big vote of confidence and trust, and we just wanted to do our best. So it was awesome.
Fantastic. Fucking,
Hmm.
what a trip that must have been, man. Both
It was.
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So, focusing more on your drumming now, is there
Mhm.
a specific technique that you are practicing or working on improving at the moment?
My left hand,
Mm, fucking left
that
hand.
bastard left hand, man.
Fuck.
I want to get it to a point where it's relaxed and I don't have to tense my whole arm to get it to the speed that I want it to.
Mm,
And trying to get better, uh, what do you call it? Independence between all your limbs.
sure.
I'm finding left hand and left foot. If I want to do different things, left foot is okay. I'm just trying to get into a point where I don't have to think about what I'm doing in terms of if I want my left hand to go this kind of speed, it'll do it automatically. If I want my left foot to switch between hi-hat and left kick, it can do it how it wants it to do. Um, that's really what I'm trying to improve on. And I've been playing a lot with double kick settings. I have one of those Dynasync Tama double kick
Oh,
pedals.
sure.
And it was my first direct drives, and I've been looking to get them. I actually got it as a gift. It was a really awesome gift from my partner. So
Wow.
it was a really
Fuck yeah.
awesome gift. So I'm I'm just trying to find the right settings for it as well. And it's such a rabbit hole to go down to try this and that. And I've also recently just picked up one of those Yamaha EAD10s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to
Oh,
figure out how to. It's been such a game changer. We've chucked it into we've connected to our in-ear rig. So
yep.
just learning how that all kind of works, and the sound quality you get from that one mic is actually pretty insane. I rate
Sure.
it real high. Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned in-ear rig. You guys are on a click.
Yes.
How
Yes.
fucking valuable, eh?
Yes. It is. It is super valuable. I honestly couldn't live without. I can't live without the clicker right now because we have so many background layers and so much synth layers and stuff because we want that meaty full concert. I know some people love having that meaty stuff. Some people want to be by itself. For us, we just love it. I think it adds to a whole concert. Periphery run a very similar rig to it, so we know it works.
Mm.
In Europe, there was an instance where I had the wrong in-ear pack, and one of us in the band doesn't listen to the click, and it was a nightmare for that one song. I had to watch one of the guitarists figured it out what was happening. He had to stomp his foot the whole time, and like it was kind of like the Polyphia moment where you had no click the entire song, and he's
Oh,
so playing a song while everyone is on the click and when you're not is a nightmare that I never want to go through again.
oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Playing to a click is fantastic, but when it goes wrong, everything
When it
falls.
goes wrong, it's horrible.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Right. Now, Kane, we move on to a game I call First, Last, Best, and Worst.
Okay.
So, this is where you tell us about the first show that you ever played, what the last gig that you played was, what the best show was. Now, that's open to interpretation, and also the
Hmm.
worst show that's open to interpretation. We'll get to those two in just a moment. But going
Awesome.
way back into time, can you tell us
Yes.
about the first show that you ever played in front of an audience?
First show. Um, it probably was a high school talent show, like just like a lot of other people.
Yep.
Um, but at first, I don't know if I count those because it's high school. I'm gonna keep it. I think the first show that I played when I was actually starting out my career in Auckland was I believe it was at Ding Dong Lounge. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
lie. I believe it was at Ding Dong Lounge, one of our first gigs, and it was with a band called Dearest Enemy. It was a pop punk band, and it went quite well, but there was obviously a lot of nerves from a lot of people. Um, but my first ever performance would have been in front of a high school talent show. First like rock concert was a Ding Dong gig, and I've loved that place ever since.
Fuck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
What was your last show?
Last show was Periphery in London, and yeah, it was at the
Fuck.
Roundhouse. It was at the Roundhouse, and that was a sold out 3,000 cap room.
Oh my God.
So
Awesome.
that was unreal. It was the most beautiful venue I've ever seen in my life. The
Oh yeah.
whole venue is literally a roundhouse.
Oh
You
yeah.
it's with columns and everything around, and you can set up the stage wherever you want. The configuration is up to you. It's like a theatrical area, and
Wow. Awesome.
if anyone wants to see it, go look up London Runhouse. It's in Camden in London. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
Mm.
Now next is best show. So this, as I said, is open to interpretation. This can be the best that you played. This can be the best thing that happened. This can be the best environment. This can be the best people around. It's really open to
Sure.
interpretation. So, Kane, best show, please.
Milan, Italy,
Yeah?
100%. Best crowd I've ever seen in my life.
Why's that?
Yeah, they are the most vocal, most jumping. The just the energy that the Italians gave was nothing like I've ever seen before. For us and Periphery, they will just chant whatever they want to chant. They will get involved. They are the moshiest crowd that I've ever seen, and it was such a positive environment that you're playing and you're just like you just got this goofy grin on your face because they're just such a music loving people, and they were just the loveliest crowd that I've ever played to. 100%. I didn't even have to like guess that. That was in Milan, Italy, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm going to push you a little bit. You already mentioned the
Yes,
time where the click fell
yes,
apart. So
yes.
aside from that, worst show, worst that you played, worst moment, funniest moment, worst thing that happened, worst environment. Again, open for interpretation, please.
This is easy as well. I don't know. It's bad that I have these all the top of my head as well. It was in one of my earlier bands. We got asked to play for it was like a fundraising pageant thing. So a bunch of these pageant girls will make a fundraising event, and it was at the Mount Albert Library. And I was like, okay, I mean, if we're helping out, that's fine.
Sure,
Let's go
fuck it.
help out. We go there and there's no PA, there's no stage. There's like an auditorium with like this a floor area and maybe 5 rows of seats. And I was like, oh, okay, this is awkward as hell. But there's a good amount of seats, so I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people that turn up. Okay, so we set up, we're ready to play. Sound check sounds trash because it's just off a guitar amp. There's no drum mics or anything. So I'm like,
Oh.
oh, this is gonna be horrible, but hey, like we'll make it work. I'm gonna say there was maybe about 7 people that came, and they were not there to see a rock show as well. They were there to support maybe their daughters who were in the pageant show and stuff like that.
Sure.
And we had to play the entire set, and it was the most awkward experience that I've ever encountered, to the point where we wanted to replicate it as a music video because it was that like when it's like those music videos where you're playing to like a couple of people
Sure.
and they just stonewalled and just watching you, and they're like, I have PTSD just thinking about it,
Oh,
and yeah,
fuck.
that's definitely the most awkward experience of my life.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, oh, that is brutal. Okay, so we are moving along to the end of the show. Can
Mhm.
you tell us? I know that you are an endorsed drummer, so can you tell us quickly about your endorsements, please?
So currently right now I'm endorsed by Tama as part of MusicWorks. So that's why I have the Tama Star Classic. And recently, I'm gonna say last year, I picked up one of those Tama Starphonic snare drums. And
Oh,
I'm not just saying it because I'm endorsed by them, but it's the nicest snare that I've ever had. But prior to this, I have a very special snare that's close to my heart. It's the Chris Adler signature snare. Of
bro,
course,
I've
of
got the
course.
Warbird. I've got the Warbird. I
Is
fucking
it the
love that
brown
thing.
one? Is it the
Yes,
brown one?
fucking
Yeah,
oath.
that's the
Yeah.
one.
I love it, bro. Hey,
That's,
14,
that's so
14 was
good.
just 14 inches was just fucking like too thick. I like pop, I like ping. So
Yes.
getting a 12 by 6 was yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I love that snare so much. But
Yes,
my only thing with that was I had so many sound technicians who didn't know how to mic it properly.
sure.
So they would say, hey, you need to turn this down, or we need to do something else. I don't want to turn it down. I'm so used to it being tight. I want that pong. So my whole thing of finding a snare drum was finding a snare drum that was similar to that, where I can still get the same kind of vibe, but it has a little bit more kind of girth to it. And that's
Sure.
where I got the Starphonic. And I still have it. I still have it as a side snare. I've got a special place to it. I thought about selling it, but then I was like, no, I don't
Don't
think you
do
can
it.
even buy them anymore. Yeah. I've
Probably
looked
not.
I looked at Rock Shop. I don't think you can get them anymore. So
No.
I'm definitely holding on to it. But In terms of sound wise, I love my stuff on it. It's a steel snare. So from maple to steel,
Sure.
it's my first steel snare that I've had, and I love it.
What
And
measurements is it? What size is it?
14 by 6.
Okay. Oh, still fairly. Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So still fairly small, still getting a nice crack. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to do that. And yeah, we're looking to get some more stuff for the band in the future in terms of um, there's this and there's this company that's already looking to has endorsed us. They're called Quantum Industries, and they do guitar cases and drum cases. So
Wow.
they're coming up with a drum case for me that I've requested, and it holds your snare, your kicks, and your cymbals all in one suitcase that weighs under 32 kgs.
Whoa.
When I have it, I'll show you guys, and it's so cool. I haven't even seen it in person yet, but it's going to be a game changer because when we're traveling, I have to take so many different things, but having it in one suitcase is beautiful. So I'm looking
Fuck yeah.
forward to getting that. They haven't created it yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Cool. Now, getting on to socials. If people want to
Mm,
find Crooked Royals, obviously you guys are everywhere. But where
mm.
would people go to find Crooked Royals?
We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We have a little community page that anyone can be part of as well. That we do like little competitions, little chats, little conversations. So if anyone wants to join a community and feel involved, feel free to come and join us. We're always happy to meet new people. But yeah, we're all on your standard. We're on your Spotify's and your iTunes as per normal. But yeah.
All right. Now, very last part of the show, please, Kane. This
Mm,
is where you get to make any plugs for anything that you've got coming up or things that you've got coming
mm,
up and make any shout outs to any people that you want to make shout outs to. Kane, sir,
mm.
the floor is yours.
Okay. So currently right now, I mentioned earlier that we're working on an album. Um, we're hopefully trying to get that done as soon as possible, but that will hopefully mean that we get a lot of singles out by end of this year, start of next year. So I'd like to say that that should be coming out soon. I want to give a shout out to our managers, Lucas and Keith. They're part of New Industry, so they've been helping us for a long period of time. And also the boys at Three Dot and Periphery, they're lovely guys. And everyone that's kind of helped us on the way. We've got three main guys that really help us behind the scenes. One is Francis Wheeler. He's part of our band that helps us out with everything. He does production, he does videos. Erin does our lights all the time, so big shout out to her. And our main sound guy for New Zealand is a guy called Luke. He used to be in bands all through when we used to play together. And yeah, I just want to say a big shout out and thanks to all those guys that could help us and everyone who helped us on the way. I'd like to say a big shout out to all the partners and my partner in general. She'll kill me if I don't say anything. So thanks for all the support as well.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, Keane Gilles of Crooked Royals, this has been absolutely fucking awesome. Thank you so much for your time, bro. I really appreciate you coming on my show, bro. This has been wonderful.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate all the work that you're doing as well in terms of getting all the New Zealand drummers out and giving them a platform. It's so good to see. I've been keeping up to date with all the guys. I'm actually friends with a lot of them, like Kit, and you had Kuda the other week. Kuda's my bro.
Oh,
So I just want to say that the work that you're doing is awesome, man. You definitely need to keep going, bro. It's so good to see.
well, thank you so much, man. So thank you to Kane. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Drop Clutch episode 22 with me, Ricky V. We'll see you next time.